This time, I would ask the National Honor Society induction class of 2023 to please extinguish your candles and be seated. Good evening. I'm Joel Thompson, and I'm the principal here at Mount Lebanon High School. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, I would like to welcome all the family members and friends who have joined us tonight. All of us are here for this distinguished evening in order to witness and to celebrate the induction ceremony of the Mount Lebanon chapter of the National Honor Society induction class of 2023. The National Honor Society is an entity of the National Association of Secondary School Principals. This organization founded NHS in the early 1920s to recognize the best attributes that high school principals hope their students will learn and demonstrate. A committee of 5 teachers met to review the applications of students interested in being inducted into this organization. These teachers examined each applicant in the light of the 4 pillars of the organization: scholarship, service, leadership, and character. The selection decision is a difficult one for these faculty members. I would like to thank the committee for their work during this process and commend them for their seriousness of purpose with which they undertook their responsibilities. We are joined tonight by the following Mount Lebanon High School seniors of our National Honor Society chapter. Each will speak about one of the 4 pillars for which the society was founded. Shojahan Abdusmatov will speak about the pillar of scholarship. Ryan Long will speak about the pillar of leadership. Lena Latif will speak about the pillar of service, and Melanie Rock will speak about the pillar of character. At this time, it is my pleasure to invite Shojahan Abdusmatov to the podium to speak about the pillar of scholarship.
Good evening. I would like to begin by congratulating you all for being NHS inductees. For some of you, this feat may not warrant any feelings of accomplishment, considering a majority of your class has achieved this. Still, I wholeheartedly believe that what you have accomplished thus far, be it in your educational trajectory from kindergarten to applying to colleges, the hurdles and obstacles you have overcome in your sport, or even the countless hours honing your hobbies, these should be something that you are proud of. After all, Mount Lebanon places high expectations on everyone. With untold resources and opportunities in every corner, there's great emphasis on being the best possible version of yourself. Naturally, we become numb to successes that seem ordinary. But, as I said, be proud of what you have done. Sometimes it's the small, unnoticed victories that are the most significant. On to the pillar I was chosen to speak about, scholarship. Some of you, like me, may have misinterpreted this. Initially, I thought scholarship only entailed writing essays and filling out forms for a monetary reward and financial aid. True scholarship, though, conveys the values and strengths of our innate, unique sense of curiosity. As said by Bernard Baruch, one of the greatest financial minds in history, millions saw the apple fall, but Newton asked why. Although some of you may not believe it or simply choose to ignore it, there are specific topics and subjects in school that have grasped your attention at one point or another. For me, it was math and science. For you, it may be completely different. You may even hate math and hate science. That's the beauty of diversity, though. Always follow your interests and never inhibit the reach of your imagination. Following my curiosity about science, and specifically cancer, I had an internship at Pitt's Neurodegenerative Diseases Lab. There, I met various professors and gained invaluable hands-on experience. I did genotyping, gel electrophoresis, and surgery on dozens of mouse brains. But most interesting to me was seeing cancer cells. Having been motivated by the diagnosis of my grandparents and their deaths from cancer, I had already known I would end up in the medical field. By no means am I saying that you have to have your life figured out, or even help in finding a cure for cancer. But I am saying, or rather insisting, that you follow your interests. We do not know where they may lead us in life, but they will surely leave us happy. Too often we focus on money and other materialistic things, but this results in a lack of purpose. Walt Disney and Steve Jobs understood the importance of following their curiosities. Deemed uncreative and unimaginative, Walt Disney was fired from his job as a newspaper editor. But he followed his passion, even when others doubted him. Because of this, the world will never be the same. Furthermore, a simple calligraphy class that captivated his curiosity and drew his attention led Steve Jobs on a path that stretched the very figments of our imagination and pushed beyond the boundaries of possibility. With the creation of the Mac and iPhone, Jobs' curiosity led to innovation and revolutionary breakthroughs that have forever transformed our lives, work, and interactions. Follow your passions and your curiosities. There's knowledge everywhere. Attain it and leave your mark in history. You never know how beneficial and impactful pursuing interests can be until you start following your passions. There are countless opportunities, internships, experiences, or inventions to enrich life beyond what you thought possible. Inevitably, there will always be obstacles, but success is never easy. Life is too short not to do what you love or pursue your interests. Thank you. I would like to introduce Ryan Long, who will be speaking about the pillar of leadership.
Good evening. I would like to say congratulations to each and every one of this year's National Honor Society members. National Honor Society should not be taken lightly. It is an accomplishment that has taken years of hard work and dedication to achieve. When I was asked to speak about leadership, I immediately thought of the big moment. That moment at the end of the game when the team needs someone to step up, or at the end of a superhero movie when the hero comes through to save everyone, or even when the president has to make a decision. Don't get me wrong, these are all examples of leaders. But that is not what all leadership looks like. Let's face it, the vast majority of us in this room probably have not faced a truly pivotal moment like one of these. However, you are all leaders because, as Michael Jordan said, you must earn your leadership every day. Leadership often seems like it is a moment-to-moment thing, yet it is really a lifestyle. Leadership is about living, acting, and thinking like a leader. Leading is about knowing right from wrong, standing up for your beliefs, and showing people the way, not forcing them to follow. It is about helping someone when they are down, being there for those that you love, or even as simple as saying hello to someone in the hallway. This is not always easy. We are all tested when things are not going as planned. That is when true leadership emerges. I learned many of these things from Coach Palco. I've always viewed Coach as so much more than just a coach. During his tenure at Mount Lebanon, Coach did so much more than just coach the football team. Half of my conversations with Coach Palco didn't even have anything to do about football. I would always see him in center court, talking to kids, messing around, making people laugh. If you know him, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every year, he held the kickoff celebration with the cheerleaders and the band to show the community what Mount Lebanon football is all about. In terms of game planning and strategy, Coach did not need to do any of these things in order to win. After all, he was labeled the football coach. Yet he did it anyway. This always stood out to me. At first, I did not really understand why, as a football team, we did so many of these little things every single day. Coach Palco always told us to trust him. I know what he said and what he preached to us worked, as it brought home Whitfield and state championships in 2021. As members of the National Honor Society, you have all expressed leadership every single day, regardless of whether it was easy or not. The one thing I ask each and every one of you is to be proud of yourselves and continue to live your lives like leaders. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Lena Latif, who will be speaking on the Pillar of Service.
So first and foremost, I would like to congratulate all of you on your induction into National Honor Society. After 3 years of hard work, you have successfully checked off enough boxes to be part of this prestigious program. Job well done. But from having been in your shoes, I know that self-growth is not always the purpose behind striving to be an NHS member. Although it's great to have this accolade as part of your resume, I am hoping that there is a more purposeful meaning for us. Why? Because the ability to help others for the purpose of building a community is perhaps the most rewarding experience we can ask of life. As a freshman, I completed my hours for the sake of meeting requirements. The tasks were often minute and a far cry from helping the community. I believe the concept that service comes with no intrinsic reward is faulty. Volunteering, when done correctly and wholeheartedly, leaves you rich. Rich in skill, rich in community, and rich in compassion. So mowing your lawn a week before your hours are due is fine, but volunteering at a daycare center regularly because you aspire to be in childcare is better. This do it just because it counts approach simply does not work. So forget about it completely. Moving forward, before taking on any volunteering tasks, look at what service is needed and how it aligns with your interest. Future chef, volunteer at a soup kitchen to feed the hungry. Future teacher, volunteer at a camp where kids can benefit from extra attention. Change your why when it comes to volunteering, and the rewards will go beyond the certificate. By doing so, you help yourself help others. A true win-win scenario. I am proof that this works. I volunteered for Hummus Pittsburgh, a local business owned by my immigrant parents. They are masters of hummus but needed help when it came to managing vendors, advertising on social media, responding to emails of all kinds, and collaborating with fellow small businesses. By taking over the administration, my parents were able to focus on the delicious recipes. In exchange, I developed impressive communication skills and leadership skills. Of the many things I have done in my high school career, completing this service has been the most fulfilling. So start volunteering because it helps others and it helps yourself. Beyond the self-growth, there are studies that prove how volunteering decreases stress, depression, and anxiety, along with boosting your overall health and satisfaction with life. So, if you volunteer with authenticity, you will forever be rich, rich in community, rich in fulfillment, and rich in benefits. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Melanie Narak, who will be speaking about the pillar.
To start, I want to again congratulate all of you on your induction today. Your acceptance into the National Honor Society says so much about your success in service, scholarship, and leadership. Your success with all of those is a true testament to your character. To define character would be moral qualities. Compassion, empathy, and kindness are what come to mind, for me at least. Yet for others, they may feel their moral qualities are different. So then, character is so subjective, I began to think of some of the best characters or people I have ever met. With that, I began to see one thing they all had in common. They're all great listeners. Obviously, we were taught to listen at a young age. It started with our parents, whom we still listen to today, at least sometimes. Yet, as I've gotten older, I've begun to see another side of listening, the more performative one. One thing I've listened to my mom say is that there's a difference between listening and waiting to talk. I'm sure we're all thinking of people who can fit into both of those categories. There's the people who ask questions not because they want to hear your answer, but because they want you to hear theirs. But then there are people who ask questions because they want to learn about you. It's those small intentions that define these differences. I think I can speak for everyone when I say we all remember the feeling of our first day of freshman year. And I'm sure for most of you, and especially for me, that feeling was pure anxiety. Yet, that feeling is not even my most vivid memory of that day. I remember exactly where I was standing in the language hallway at the moment I saw both of my league leaders. As they passed me, they didn't just wave and keep walking. Instead, they said, "Hi, Melanie," stopped to ask me what class I was headed to, and followed up by asking me how my most recent tennis match went. Our discussion then continued as they walked me to my class. Although I'm sure that right now my link leaders wouldn't even remember waving me down between first and second period on my way to Spanish, but that small moment has stuck with me forever. Not because I was anxious, lost, or even scared, but because I felt like even in this big school, there are still people who hear you and truly want to listen to you. Truly listening is the small things. It's remembering someone's name, following up on a story they told you, or even asking how your weekend was. It's these small moments of care and listening to others that define these relationships. It's this small talk where we end up learning something new about someone. It's small conversations that may seem like they mean nothing to you, but could be exactly the thing someone needs to hear. It's these small moments that build our character. So as I end my speech today, I will leave you all with a quote from a man we've all listened to, Bill Nye. Our science guy once said, "Everyone you will ever meet knows something you don't." That statement reigns true in our teenage lives and I'm sure in our adult ones. If we truly recognize that, we can continue to build our character, our connections, and our impact. We can all learn something from anyone we will ever meet, but only if we take the time to care and listen to them. Thank you.
At this time, our high school unit principals will begin the official roll call of the Mount Lebanon High School National Honor Society induction class of 2023. Beginning the roll call will be Unit 1 Principal, Dr. Mitchell, followed by Acting Unit 2 Principal, Mrs. McGinty, and lastly, Unit 3 Principal, Ms. Winsmore. We ask that you please hold your applause until all of the names are called.
Abdulaziz Abdus Amatov. Caroline Adams. Sophia Alexander. Lily Anderson. Alexa Arnold. Samuel Asbury. Nora Austin. Leah Bailey. Aiden Bajorek. Madeline Bank. Eleanor Barkley. Isabella Beggy. Jackson Bell. Audrey Blair. Gabrielle Boone. Claire Bovino. James Brown. Maximilian Bush. Raquel Capuzano. Emma Carlstrom. Fiona Kavanaugh. Brennan Cleary. Audrey Coleman. Ashlyn Connolly. Claire Kramer. Luke Kramer. Taylor Crandall. Kushal Criswell. Nadia Dorigo. Morgan Daniels. Evelyn Davis. Sawyer Delahunty. Julia Descalzi. Zaire Dinkins. Henry Druckenbrode. Luke Eberhardt. J.C. Ellis, Henry Elwine, Kelsey Erdely, Ava Fabian, Ava Famoso, Lena Fang, Michael Ferreira, Carter Frankel Conti, Iona Fry, Ethan Fusen, Ava Gamba, Leah Gardner, Talia Gilman, Micah Gill, Kirthi Garish, Nathaniel Gerard, Emma Gerard, Maya Golden, Paul Goring, Grace Gotham.
Lily Hackworth, Aiden Hall, Gregory Ham, James Hanson, Daniel Hartman, Ezra Heidenreich, Elizabeth Hepps, Ariana Herzog, Isabel Holder, Isaac Rybnak, Sarah Hudak, Quinn Hughes, Kira Herm, Tessa Imbarlina, Sarah Imporvati, Cecilia Kojakovic, Sadie Joseph, Max Kasmirchuk, Leah King, Nor Krasak, Juliana Kinderman, Annie King, Natalie Koenig, August Kolar, Kashmir Korvicki, Connor Kostick, Danica Kramer, Jack Krebs, Molly Publius, Logan Coleman, Sigmund Kukla, Matthew Kurta, Anna Kushner, Teresa Lasik, Tibu Latif, Tyvin Lee, Jacob Lehman, Ellie Lee-J, Alexander Levine, Maggie Lowe, Caroline Mackin, Marielle Mago, Olivia Mayer, Michael Malone, Anamitra Mandel, Matthew Manning, Sarah Martin, Colin McBain, Michael McBride, Tanner McFoy, Madeline McGeary, Kylie McKay, Everett Mead, Lily Mira, Maddox Metzger, Charles Mastretta, Sarah Mitchell, Kathleen Mooney, Molly Mooney, Brooke Morosky,
Amelia Means, Jadim Nisam, Elijah Ober, Paige Palishaw, Irene Poloris, Maddox Palladino, Zachary Phelps, Brooke Pollock, Catherine Powers, Samantha Przinski, Benjamin Rail, Ellie Reinhardt, Caroline Rock, Sage Rohrbach, Jack Saferstein, Sarah Samarco, Arul Santoshi, Julia Schwertferrer, Elizabeth Seifert, Mackenzie Schatzberger, Ava Smith, Brendan Smith, Jennifer Smith, Kendall Smith, Nolan Smith, Sutter Smith, Owen Snyder, Lauren Stacy, Alexander Stefanoff, Sarah Stein, Kalina Strautmeyer, Henry Zeffie, Samuel Zeffie, Mara Tatimer, Frank Tauscher, Patrick Tetlow. Emily Thomas. Jacob Tinnemeyer. Joseph Tipton. Amelia Twyman. Eric Vandepute. Ria Verma. Zachary Wagner. Caleb Weidman. Braden Wertz. Annabeth Weston. James Wolfe. Felix Yang. Aleph Yavin. Anna Yorosko. Cooper Zentner. Madeline Zarega. At this time, NHS Advisor, Mrs. Christy Smith, will administer the NHS Pledge to students.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate our 2023 induction class. Today you've heard from 4 of our NHS seniors about their own experiences and beliefs about the characteristics and qualities for which you have been recognized this evening. Although it's certainly a time to celebrate all that you've accomplished thus far, it's also a time to look to the future and to figure out what part you will play. If I've learned anything from our encounters over the years, it's that you are very capable of doing this. I see it in how hardworking and engaging you are with your teachers, your peers, and most importantly, I've seen it in your willingness to help. Simply put, I see our future in all of you. Having the title of leader is one thing, but actually being a leader is the vision of all of you working together, your actions and attitudes cultivated over time for the betterment of our school and community. I encourage you to think of NHS not as a signpost marking an end of a road, but instead as the beginning of an opportunity to give back. Please do not underestimate that even the smallest act of kindness can have a huge impact on your friends, your teachers, your loved ones, and most importantly, on you. I've enjoyed spending this evening with you, a time of reflection on all that you have accomplished thus far, and I look forward to working with you in the coming year as we plan for opportunities to make our school and community a better place. So we have one last task ahead of us. At this time, I ask that our 2023 induction class please rise for the National Honor Society Pledge. Please repeat after me. I pledge to uphold the high purpose of National Honor Society. I will be true to the principles for which it stands. I will be loyal to my school. And maintain and encourage the high standards of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Congratulations. Please be seated.
In the spirit of recognition, I would ask the inductees to think of a person in your own life who's been a remarkable voice of encouragement. I would imagine that one immediate thought you were having is your family. Make sure in the near future, for whomever that person is, to say thank you to them for being the positive influence on you. As you move forward, I would encourage you to look for the opportunity to be that remarkable voice of encouragement to those who cross your path. Once again, please join me in congratulating the 2023 National Honor Society inductees. I would like to thank the members of the audience for attending this evening and for the support that you have given these students and our school. I would also like to thank the NHS seniors who spoke so eloquently tonight, our pianist Clara Sun, a member of the class of 2025, the faculty and staff who are in attendance, including Dr. Steinhauer, our superintendent of schools, unit principals Dr. Mitchell, Mrs. McGinty, and Ms. Mintzmoyer, and National Honor Society advisor, Mrs. Smith, who put this night together, as well as for the time that is spent all year working with our NHS members. This concludes this evening's ceremony. At this time, I would ask our induction class to please rise, and we will begin the recession.